Dive into this and kind of cover what we have. Let me just grab my little thingy here. All right, guys. It's pretty exciting. Sean and I was talking the other day, and we were talking some SEO. We're always chatting here and there, like a couple times a month sometimes. And then we kind of like brainstorm or just talk about different things. And Sean was kind of like talking about some new stuff he's working on, and he was also like mentioning the stuff that he's doing with YouTube and the stuff that he's doing like with the agency that he's working on right now. He's kind of like doing a new project that he's kind of working on. He's been around for a good while. Definitely not a newbie in the industry. So a lot of the stuff that he have comes from years of experience and testing and all of those good stuff. So what he has for us today is bunch of stuff. Like, I guess we're going to talk about some reviews. We're going to talk about some link building. Super excited to see and have him share about the YouTube strategy that he's talking about. I saw some of the results. It was a week ago, right? Something like that when we talked about it was a week ago or 10 days ago, 10 days ago. Some of the results that he's getting, he's able to grab clients and close deals from that. And I was quite surprised because he's not spending a lot of money almost at all. I mean, yeah, that was the laugh I had when he told us, like, what? That doesn't make my sense. Like, I'll do that in a day. Kind of like, so I was really excited when he was like sharing all those things with me, and I wanted him to share this with you guys. So after kind of twisting his arm, he's actually going to do that. So take the mic, Sean. Take it from here. It's all yours.
Alrighty. Well, the latest project we're working on, guys, just for you, just before I start screen sharing, is we're trying to take a new company, like a lot of marketers are doing, brand new with very little money, and see how fast we can grow it. Now, I'm going to be going over a decently advanced strategy, guys, so feel free to ask questions. I will literally stop and answer them. It's no big deal. But overall, don't overthink it, guys. This stuff is relatively simple. Let's go ahead and dive in. And again, guys, feel free to ask questions at any time. I have the chat pulled up all the time. All right, can you see the strategies for dominating your market?
Yes, I can see a screen. I'm gonna
All right.
screen
It's a
share.
very basic PowerPoint, guys. I'm going to be bouncing off the PowerPoint a decent amount because I don't want to bore you guys to death, right? So let's go ahead and oops, please let me just click. The agenda for today is ultimately we're going to talk about becoming number one, most reviewed in your area, why it's important, how to generate leads while building authority, and topical SEO. For me, I build leads while I'm building topical SEO. You can do them together incredibly quickly, and I'll show you guys how. As simple as it is, you'd be surprised how many people completely overlook that you're missing out on literally thousands of leads if you don't do it properly. Now, real quick, I threw in one slide. I twisted Eldar's arm. I threw in one slide kind of who I am. I've been doing this just under 2 decades, managed over 400 GBPs in the past 5 years alone, handled over $10 million in Google ads, and just under 3 million. It's like 2.89 on Facebook ads. I'm the author of the book Stupid Simple Results, which our volume 2 comes out later this month. I'm excited. I'm a speaker, and I've taken 87 companies over $1 million in 1 year. So that's creating $1 million worth of revenue in 1 year for a plethora of industries. Now, everyone can talk, right? Let's show a little bit of results. This client's in the food industry. Here's 3,000 calls in their GBP in 5 months. It was taken October 1st, like last year sometime. So I guess we'll get a little bit deeper into that coming up. Here's another one, 6,000 calls over a 6-month period. Now, guys, before we dive too deep into the base strategies, let's go ahead and stop sharing just for a second. Guys, this is not achieved by simply GBP alone. This is achieved by truly growing the brand of the company you're working on. And it's one of those things that if they see you everywhere, if you're being helpful, if you're showing off your work, you have to grow the company to get to something like 6,000 calls. You can get to your first, depending on the industry, 100 to 600, relatively easy. Again, industry specific. But after that, it's really, can you grow the brand? And that's exactly what we're trying to do with content here. So let's go ahead and reshare if I can find the button here. Don't worry about me. And let's get started with how to become number one in your area. Now, I threw this screenshot in. Here you go. I know what I'm doing. 22 ROAS, 1.32 million. There you go. That's this year. Now, becoming the number one reviewed in your area, it is incredibly important. We all know that reviews are important. Our customers usually do not. I literally wrote duh here because it is incredibly important. And our main strategy, our absolute main strategy is to ask. And I know that sounds dumb, guys. I promise you I know. But just stick with me for a second. Asking is 1,000 times more powerful than not asking. Again, duh, right? So let's take a look at our 3-tiered attack that really just involves asking, and how to ask properly. And then we'll talk about a little bit more of what are the most powerful reviews to get that really push the maps. Because that's at the end of the day what I want to do. Our 3-tiered attack is foundational. And that's going to be a little push in the beginning to get them, between 30 and 300 reviews, depending on how many people participate. Then we move on to NFC cards, and we'll glaze through this to not bore you guys too much. And then we go to text and email, which I'll be honest, guys, most of the time we don't use anymore. Because NFC stands and cards, if done correctly, the conversion rate's just 10 times higher. On text, you'll see a conversion rate about 17% if you're good at it. NFC cards, you can see conversion rates as high as 60%. They're just better, guys. And then what do we do with the reviews? Now, our 3-step review process, this is really a review generation process. We start out with a foundational push. This is something that if you get the owner to buy into, it's a quick 30 to 50 reviews right out the gate. But if they do it with other staff members, it becomes 100 reviews, 200 reviews over the course of a month. Once the owner buys into it, they will get a ton of reviews doing this. And it's relatively simple to do. It's you use the business owner's circle. That's going to be his distributor, his BNI group, his referral partners. Any business owner is going to have connections if they've been in business for a few years. You have him sit down and actually text them from his phone, not from some automation, and just say, hey, John, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. We're missing out on leads from not having enough reviews. Would you mind taking just a quick second, leave me a review? Because this is coming from the owner's phone, the response rate, 80, 90%. The highest response rate we had was 95. We never got to 100. Hurts my feelings because I really want to hit that one time. But again, that's a quick 30 to 50 reviews. The only warning I'm going to say here, guys, is don't tell people what to say, because that is against Google's rules. If for any way they catch you, you can get in trouble for that. But just asking for a review, you will not get in trouble. So what we have seen companies do in the past is we run it through their whole staff. We have companies of 25, 30 people that they turn it into a game. Whoever gets the most reviews wins. We have one company that gives them a day off every week. So whoever gets the most reviews in a week gets a paid day off. Awesome. We have another company that just gives them $30 per review they generate. They understand the importance of this stuff, guys. And when they finally get on board with you, that alone can push it through the stratosphere. But just to move on quickly, because we have a lot to cover today, then we move on to just the basic NFC cards. We also have NFC cards with QR codes on the front. But at the same time, guys, these are incredibly cheap. You buy them in bulk. Why is it blurring it? It's blurring it out. But you buy them in bulk. They're like 8 cents a pop, guys. Don't buy them on Amazon. Go to Alibaba. Talk to a distributor. It's really easy. Now, with these, we also have clients that give out $20, $30 to their employees for every review they get. It's easy to track. It's a simple tracking code. So the reason these are so powerful, guys, is they're a gimmick. Let's face it, they're a gimmick at the end of the day, right? They're getting people to ask, though. When you have the QR stand in the chiropractic office right before they re-register, I don't have any stands near me, sorry, guys, but when they just finish up, they just got adjusted, they feel great, then you train their staff to say, oh, you feeling great? Awesome. Hey, do you mind leaving us a quick review? It is literally a half second out of their day, and they just told you they felt great. Therefore, they're not going to say no. It's the same thing for your contractors. They just finished up the bathroom remodel. They're showing it out. Hey, how do you like it? Oh, it's amazing. Awesome. Do you mind leaving us a quick review? And we'll talk about that here in a second, how to make that 10 times more powerful. But after a positive experience, it's super easy to get a ton of reviews with this. And then again, at the end of the day, text message follow-ups works. We don't use it as often as we used to. We use Reviewly.ai. Not sponsored. I don't know. No, that's just what we use. We will be moving away from it shortly, but currently that's what we use. Now, let's talk about the most powerful review, and then we'll get into some more meat and potato stuff. Oh, you're not gonna let me click again. So the showstopper reviews, one of the best reviews you're gonna get, guys, is when your clients' customers actually show photos in their reviews. Now, how do we get our customers, our clients' customers rather, to take photos in the reviews? Well, we use the nice NFC cards. So they've walked them by the job, and they've went ahead and said, hey, do you mind leaving a quick review? That would really help. Again, they're excited. They're in a really happy mood, right? So when they're in that mood, as they're pulling out their phone to tap it, you just ask them, oh, hey, by the way, we have a contest going on right now. Whoever submits the best photos, we send you a $30 gift card for Starbucks or whatever the company wants to implement. Now, the little secret here that we tell all our guys is tell them like, hey, only 2 or 3 people entered last month. You have a really high chance of winning. Well, to be fair, we use faux contests. So everybody wins. So anyone who takes pictures and submits it on the review, they end up in the mail getting nice little gift cards. I know, guys, you can run a real contest if you want, but most of your clients, especially if they understand the game, will have no problem sending out some gift cards for getting the most powerful needle moving, well, second most powerful. We won't go into that. Basically, one of the most powerful reviews you can get that will move the needle, because when they're adding photos, it just works. I don't know why they try so hard. Sorry, just reading through the questions here. Oh yeah, you will definitely get clients that are a pain in the butt for getting reviews, most definitely. Now, I'm going to glaze over this, guys. If you have more questions, we'll answer more in the Q&A. The elephant in the room, your site structure matters, guys. Plain and simple, it does. So we got to just very quickly glaze over this. The two that work probably the best are just the basic silo structure and the reverse silo structure. And I'll show you both an example just so you guys can see it. I like reverse silo better, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So let's go ahead and exit out of the presentation. Here's an example of a siloed, just a classic silo structure website. We're on their homepage, and it links to their parent pages, right, guys? Very basic stuff. Landscaping links to landscaping parent page, concrete links to the concrete page, lawn care to the lawn care page. It's all the parent pages. Most of you guys will know this. This is probably the structure you use. And the parent page obviously links to all the service pages. I don't want to get too nerdy or spend too much time on this. It's just a basic silo. You go in one level. Now, this is the opposite. This is a reverse silo. And I could not understand this, even though I've been doing it for years. I did not understand the concept of reverse silo. That's kind of funny. But it just links directly to the services themselves, directly off the homepage. Not only does this help your GBP rank better, because this is the landing page your GBP sees, it also just kind of helps the flow of juice a little bit better, where you can really push what your client wants to push the most. And these are still siloed just fine, just normally. But at the same time, we're trying to push lawn mowing, aeration, shrub trimming. This is not my client, by the way. Fall cleanup. And then at the bottom here, links directly to the latest blog posts, just so we can go ahead and make sure they're indexed quickly, and just so we can get a little bit of juice through them as they come up. Relatively simple. Just wanted to glaze over that because a lot of people don't talk about it correctly. So that is, why do I like reverse silo? Because I've seen it rank much faster. Now, if it's a bigger site and you're putting in real SEO juice, real links, a normal silo will outrank it eventually. For our clients that are mid-tier, we use a regular silo. For most of our normal clients, that's going to be your local remodeling guy, your home additions guy. We're going to go ahead and use just basically reverse silo because it's quicker. And that's just the experience we've had. Maybe someone has had something else, but that's my personal. They're both amazing, guys. Just wanted to talk about that, is have a structure. Does a parent-child silo URL structure impact in any way? That's a question for a more techie SEO. I personally use invisible silos. So I don't believe so in my opinion, but there's a lot we could talk about maybe in Q&A over that, because there is some data to say yes, but we won't go there just yet. Now, my main content strategy, and this is what all of you should be using if you really want to push it, is are you good looking or are you helpful? Now, this used to have a much better name, but we had some people complain about the name. So now it's, are you good looking or are you helpful? Now, both of these strategies build your brand and help you make more sales. So when we think about good looking, think about Kelly Williams, the real estate guy. He said if he had to restart today, he would sell his first home for free. And then he would tell the world that he's the one that sold that home. And that is the same concept here. And I will actually show you that concept in action. That is our main strategy, but we also back it up with something called helpful. And we'll show you that as well. We use a combination that's technically an omnipresent Facebook campaign. That is a really advanced strategy we probably won't have time to get into, but if you use just the good looking or just the helpful content, you will do amazing things with pennies on the dollar concepts. So let's take a look at what a good looking strategy looks like. Sorry guys, I see a lot of people have messaged me since we started. So this client here is a good looking client. They have amazing photos. Let me zoom in just in case somebody's on a smaller screen. They have amazing photos. We boost every single one. They're not with us anymore, but they boost every single one. We get a ton of traffic between 7 cents and about 60 cents, I think, is our worst performing for these. But we get a ton of social interaction. We get a ton of traffic. And this is what it looks like when you're showing off the good looking. You're getting people to know that, hey, we do this all day, every day. And then from there, we also weave in blog posts. This is when you do kind of both of them at the same time. That are really helpful. Hey, what kind of window options do I have? Well, we got the answer. So the people that are clicking on this are actually going to see what kind. Like it does actually link to the blog post. We talk about the different kinds of windows, and then we have a couple of call to actions throughout it. You'll get a few leads from these. And it surprises people when you see the cost of how much it is to run this, because it is pennies on the dollar. And just to make a point out of this, I'm going to scroll. I don't know. We'll let it scroll for a little bit, going at high speed. Oh, no, now I broke my mouse. I legitimately broke it. All right. Nope. I broke Facebook. All right. Well, we've been doing it for months, but I broke Facebook and I can no longer scroll on that page. So it does work, guys. And that's kind of what it looks like just at a higher level. So let's go ahead and take a look at the semantic part, or the topical part rather. The topical content part. What kind of content are you going to write? What kind of content are you going to boost out all over the internet? So we use topical SEO for authority and to get clients at the same time. We want to be as helpful as possible while being informative. So if you don't know your keyword research and you're really not sure how to do that, it is decently easy to still just go to ChatGPT and ask it for a topical map. And an example would be, hey, can you make me a topical map for the term, to support the term leak detection? We can go into detail because yes, you can make a much more complicated, much better prompt. But if you're just getting started at this stuff, this prompt will work. And I went ahead and pulled an example for leak detection. And top signs you have a water leak in your home. Why homeowners should prioritize. These are all good articles for your site for the most part. And they're all going to be linking to leak detection to help really push that up if that's the service you're trying to push. Now, these are okay, right? They're all right. Some of them, like top signs your water leak, top signs you have a water leak in your home, that may do okay on social media, but it's probably going to be in the 40, 50, 60 cents per click bar. We don't want that. We want cheaper. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this content, we're going to make it just a little bit more clickbaity, if you will. Just a little bit though. There we go, that's better. Is your home leaking money? Top warning signs of a hidden water leak. Now, are we changing the article itself? No, the article is still exactly the same and it will support you on Google and it will support your main topic. But what we're doing is we're making all the articles slightly better sounding so we can get cheaper traffic from Facebook. You can technically do this inside your open. Oh, I just forgot the name of it. Well, I'll pass on it for now. But you can technically do this very easily directly inside of your WordPress sites. But anyway, so we found topics and we want to write 3 to 5 blog posts about each one of our topics. So if it's leak detection, I'm going to write 3 or 5. Same question keeps getting answered. 3 to 5 different blog posts for every single one of our big terms. Like water heater repair, I would do the same thing. Boost it out. We'll get a couple clients from the boost. We normally see between 1 and 4 clients come in every month. So from that, what is our actual content plan, right? Here is our exact content plan for a majority of our clients. We write 4 articles every single month. We boost each one of those articles, and I know boost is like a dirty word in the marketing industry now, but we boost every single one of our articles for 2 weeks at $20 total. So that's $2 a day, guys. It costs a total of $80 to run this plan. If you got 0 leads and just grew the brand with it and grew your maps ranking with it, if that's all that happened, most people would be very happy. But you also end up getting leads from this. It is absolutely wild when you're spending $80 and getting 2 leads. I mean, I don't think there are many industries that are going to complain over that. And at the same time, people are constantly seeing over and over again your brand name being helpful, helping people and showing off your great work. We'll talk a little bit more in the next section about kind of why it's more important than you think that we're doing this. And obviously make sure you silo the content properly. This is on the wrong slide. So we also boost 1 review every single month, $1 a day for the whole month. And that normally gets us between 0 and 2 leads. Not a lot, but again, it's just building the brand, guys. That's all we're trying to do is get your brand seen everywhere, helpful. And every single person who likes that post, if you're in Facebook Manager, just ask them to join your page. So now every time you boost, your organic goes huge because it's pay to play, guys. I don't care if you have 10,000 followers. Whenever you go ahead and push something out, it may reach 10%, may. Sometimes if you're lucky, it'll go a little bit higher than that. And some people will brag because they got their super engaged audience. They'll be like, oh yeah, well, I reach most of mine. It's like, yeah, but the average person doesn't. But the second you boost it, your organic reach jumps out the wazoo as well. So as you're getting more people, you're getting them to join the group. Hope that's not too complicated in that particular section. But at the end of the day, the result is cheap traffic, a few conversions, and a huge semantic boost to your topical boost to your website. I'm going to say semantic constantly because I'm so used to saying it. But now we finish up. We have a bunch of topical, right? Now what we need to do is move into the geo articles. We try to stay within 20 miles at the gate, technically 10, and then we go to 20. But this is how we push the range of it. Now, a killer way to do that, there are all kinds of ways. What we have experienced recently, and Eldar actually can give you a testimonial for this, is the Local Wiz software for WordPress. I could never figure out how to get it to work the way I wanted it to. My partner did. And we started using it on a pest control company, and we saw him stretch almost 1.5 miles in the first month we had it on. That is absolutely killer. Whenever you're trying for keywords that are pest control near me, we're trying for the biggest keywords for his industry. And the only difference, we were stretching him. He has a huge market in Arizona, absolutely huge. And he just started stretching more. And all we were doing was I think we did 4 posts for him for the Local Wiz software. It's, again, surprisingly, if your client's not on WordPress or you don't want to use the software, you can do neighborhood and location pages. That's what we traditionally did. But it's just a completely different angle. And honestly, I think it's much better optimized than most people's location pages. And if you're not sure where to start when it comes to your location pages or your neighborhood pages, use ChatGPT and Local Dominator. Use whatever mapping software you want. It's just really easy to use this one. So I have one pulled up here. And what we're going to do is say for this client, this is not a client of mine. I pulled a random map, guys. This is some tree service. Yeah, I typed in my name, tree service, and somebody has it somewhere in the world. Awesome. But you see, they're ranked very poorly, right? But we can definitely see areas like here, and we'll pull up a different one that looks a little bit better. But what we see is here, we can make a page on Jefferson Valley and how we support that area. We can create a page. They need foundational work, but still, we can create a page over here. Well, what area is over here? For Creighton Falls. So we can find kind of the edge of our area and start creating pages and creating relevance with that area. Try not to surpass your topical relevance with your geo relevance. Most of you won't, so there's no real problem there. Some people go a little too big on geo too fast when you don't have the topical relevance, and then it'll just fail. But let's go to a slightly better one. And this is another just rando. This is actually someone I did an audit for. where it's like, okay, they're doing pretty good in this area, really good in the water. They're doing really good in this area here, which is their primary areas right in this area. So that's awesome. But we can definitely expand out to a bunch of these other areas. An example would be we can make a page right here. Well, I just lost it. There it is. A neighborhood page. We literally can find where we're weak in ranking, the Greater Lakes Industry Park. We can make neighborhood pages. We can make different area pages specifically for the areas that we are ranking bad, just to try to push our ranking and our relevance in that area. That's all we're trying to do is map our website to be, hey, we're the local guys, and we're also the authority in our market. We keep it as simple as possible. Oop, bonus time. All right. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about that, but we have the bonus time. And I think this is why a lot of people are here is they want to see the YouTube ad strategy. So bonus time field trip. Now, oops,
I
got one
want
other
to.
question.
I came for
Go
that.
ahead.
I want to see it. I came just for that. See what you got.
Content strategies that grow my client? No. How to get more clients? Yes. Now, this strategy is utilized by companies that are making, 8 million a year, 9 million a year. And I recently interviewed an owner who's old acquaintance of mine. We worked a couple clients together, and he goes, that is literally the only thing we do. So I'm now going to show you guys how to do it. YouTube has this powerful thing where you can target people and you can target videos. And let's do this off screen real quick. I'll pull up the AdWords site if you guys want to see it. We'll do it in the Q&A time. But ultimately, what you're going to want to do is find videos that you think are completely relevant. They've already built the audience, guys. So just use their audience. So I just typed in roofing leads. These aren't going to be the absolute best, but it's a starting point for some people. Easiest way to get roofing leads. Looks, that's easily overlooked. Awesome. That could be a good video. Without testing, I won't know. But what you're going to do is you're going to build an ad and you're going to pick, say, this video, and I'll show you how to get better targeting as well. This video, how to get leads in 2024. It's got 36,000 views. It's under a year old. It says just a year, sorry. 4 years old. Not as much, but guess what? How to get roof leads without door knocking. They want leads. They don't want a door knock. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a 1-minute hand raiser video with your offer. So an example of the one we're doing is we're targeting people who are specifically in lawn care for a very short period of time, just to try to grow a new company. We basically said, hey, I guess I'll stop sharing for this just so we can get more zoomed in. And then we'll go kind of in the details on how to do it and the tips and tricks. Our 1-minute video is just, hey, you want to look more professional with a great website, but you don't want to spend that 5 to 10 grand to get in front of them because that's what everyone's telling you it costs. Well, how about instead of that, we go ahead and we'll give you a website. Now there's a catch, but we'll give you a website. All you have to do is pay hosting. We use a cloud hosting server and we give you a ton of benefits. If you want to look more professional and get some leads from your website, watch my full video below. And now, where do we send people from there is the question. Because a lot of people are like, okay, well then you send them to a landing page, right? So you try to get their information, try to do that. No, because when we tried to do that, we were getting visitors for about $1 to $2 a pop, sometimes a little bit cheaper, but the average we were spending $1 to $2 in order to get people in. Well, if we don't do that and instead send them to the same sales video but on YouTube, our costs went all the way down. We went to about 11 to 30 cents a pop to get a view on our actual sales video. So right there, we took something that was costing $1 to $2 per view down to 10 cents, 11 cents, 20 cents per view. The simple principle is Google loves
the video.
Or sorry, go ahead.
You have the video handy? Can you show us the video you're using?
Oh, not until it's done running. I don't give out complete and utter videos like that, but after it's running, Eldar, if you want to give it out, 100%, I'll give it out to people. It's going to be running through part of December.
All right.
We have had people completely steal my videos, which I think I was telling you
Can't blame
about.
me for ads for trying.
I can't blame you for trying. And we are looking at doing a small training on it. Eldar, if you want to give it to your members, we'll give them a small training as well. Just
Right.
A to Z, how we're doing the newest one.
All right.
No, Pat, it's not the same video. It's a different video. So the first video, we're just trying to get people to raise their hands. That's the 1-minute video. is we're getting them to say like, hey, yeah, I'd like a website. Or if you target, for example, if they're looking at Google ads for roofers, because there's plenty of videos on that. If they're looking at Facebook ads for roofers, plenty of videos on that. You try to find exactly what you want. Now, you don't have to limit yourself to that either. If you really want to go kind of next level, you only want the people who are paying money, right? The people who have the money to spend. So what are they doing? They're going to conferences. They're using CRM softwares. They're using industry specific chat widgets, for crying out loud. So all those things are going to have YouTube channels. So if, for example, if you're deep into roofing and you really want to push roofing, take the time to go to every single roofing conference, just their website. Who's sponsoring that? Who are the speakers there? Who's the CRM that's there? Who's like, what are the tools they want to use? What is the company that makes the signs for them, the door hangers for them? And when you take the time to do that, we paid a VA $60 per industry, by the way, to do this for us. But they will go out and they will find hundreds of YouTube channels that have a surprising amount of views. Our best converting thing right now is actually a CRM YouTube channel. It is a CRM for lawn care companies. We have videos over every single video on their channel. And the whole point is we're trying to get people that are spending money to spend a little bit more with us. And we have found that in our case, obviously the whole free website thing is part of the experiment. If you just say, and this is again our case, if you say free website, nobody wants it. Absolutely nobody wants it. But if you say free website with a catch, and then you explain what that catch is to them, they all of a sudden become interested. So for us, even trying to give stuff away, we were getting people who simply were not interested, bad conversations. The second we told them there's a catch, they have to listen to our spiel and pay us for hosting. We started saying that in advance. People started getting interested rather. So it's a simple shift in mindset. You can build absolutely huge lists of completely untapped areas. I'm guessing there's some questions I've been ignoring. No, not really. But at the end of the day, we haven't got everything into place. We use this strategy for $100 a month. The person I learned the strategy to, I wish I remembered his name, was spending $900 a month to run a 7-figure agency. I've talked to someone in dental who that is their entire strategy is YouTube video, hand raiser to a YouTube sales video. So you could literally pitch anything. If they're looking at how to improve their AdWords results, pitch them an AdWords audit. Just pay money. This is actually something we're going to be running in December, so you guys may start seeing my face more if you go to those kind of videos, where people who are looking to improve their AdWords results, we're saying, hey, do you want an audit? It costs you $29. We're currently running, it's like 70% off of what our normal fee is, because we don't want people who want free stuff. We want people who are willing to pay. So that one goes to a second video where we explain an audit. We actually show them a full audit. And we show them results, kind of like what was in the earlier part of the video, where we made a client over $1 million over the past, 7 months? It's like 1.3 million. And we did that by properly tracking and doing everything. But anyone who wants free stuff, we don't like to really deal with. So pay that little bit of money, and all of a sudden, they're more valuable. Because they again, $29. And we're going to be running that on Facebook too, by the way. It's just simple. It's like, hey, pay me money, and then we'll talk to you. And we're still giving them a discount. We're still giving them a playbook for free. Like, we're still giving them a bunch of free stuff. But I wanted to know they're serious. Because if they're not serious, I don't want to talk to them, and you end up wasting your time, wasting your money. But think about it from an industry perspective, because I'm sure there are people specifically in lawn care, specifically in roofing, specifically in, let's say, fence marketing, for instance, because that was hilarious. Now, if you're doing the YouTube strategy, you're already making videos, right? Why not take that time and invest in that industry for the videos? An example right now is if I found a fencing marketing company on YouTube. They made 4 videos. They got over 15,000 views out of their 4 crappy videos, in my opinion. Sorry, guys. They didn't do the greatest job. Now, that was free traffic. I'm using the faster way, which is, hey, I want to use their audience. They already built the audience, so I want them. But you could easily develop out videos specifically for that industry, answering questions, become the go-to resource. That's one of the many places that, in my opinion, are still completely untapped for most industries. Again, what was it? Sorry, I said 4, 3 videos in the fence marketing area, thousands of views for 3 videos, one of which was well done, the other 2 were not. So guys, Don't ignore YouTube. It is so good.
I've actually started to tap into YouTube ads, not recently, um, several months ago, and then the last 3 weeks, a little bit more. I just gave it the boost option where you go into your channel and you can promote, like you click, you promote. There's not much. You just give it an area, how much you want to spend, and pray, kind of, right? But it really nice. It works. Like I got few people out of it, and I was quite surprised because I really didn't think it's going to do much. Um, and the way I know that I got people from that, I had comments on the video, and then from that somebody reached out to me on Facebook on something, and then I had another person ask for a link or whatnot. So I was like, hey, that's not bad. Um, it
Yeah.
seems a little costly, I think, at first because they kind of want you to spend money, right? Like when you go in, it's they every time I go in, it's like it's giving me like 200 as a default, and it's setting it for like a couple of days, right? So I think they're making it seems like you have to spend a lot of money. But what I've done with all of the stuff that I promoted, I've done it for 2 to 3 weeks. So I did $100 for each video over 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not a lot, if you do a couple of them, and you stretch
Yeah.
it, you see it. It's you see the impressions, you see the stuff, you see the likes and all those things. You
Yeah.
also
We
see
have an SEO trainer. What's up?
you also see the dislike, the people that it's really interesting because I have actually noticed that in the past, but when I was running ads, like if you see stuff, like I had one ad that, I had a few of those dislike, I was like, well, I don't want to run that as an ad, like I guess some people don't like it. So that's a good indicator on top of some other stuff.
On what to use for absolutely sure. Interesting. Um, there are literally like 7 different ways you can use Google Ads to boost it. The one inside of YouTube is supposed to be the best for subscribers. I paid for a program on it where the guy gets you to a certain amount of subscribers, and we're helping another guy who sells SEO courses right now with his. That was by far the best for getting subscribers. But when it comes to just straight sales, getting people to sales videos, we found it more beneficial instead of letting YouTube do it, is just manually picking the videos when it's like these guys are warm, these guys are good, and we know they're spending money already. So it's really just kind of what you want to do with it.
Give us a little walkthrough on the audience. So, for example, you found the video. You mentioned there was a couple of videos there, and that got a bunch of views. So, how do you go after the audience of that particular video?
Yeah, I got you. Well, actually, let me pull up an account. We'll make a new campaign in front of everyone.
Right on.
Uh, let's do Stratus Digital. Let me just quickly start a new campaign, and we'll walk you guys through kind of the basics of it. Are you gonna let me start a new campaign? You're being mean. Let's do it under, yeah, sure, this one. All right, so I'm gonna share screen and we're gonna walk through exactly how to target them. Now, are you seeing Google? Okay, you're seeing the right screen. All right, so for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go without guidance. This is just a new campaign on YouTube. I'm gonna go without guidance, and we're gonna go to videos. Now, they're going to give you a bunch of different options. There are some advanced things you can do with ad sequences that we're playing with. This is brand new. I've never seen this, and we started ads again last week, so that's interesting. Maybe I just missed it. But for the most part, we want video views. Effective reach was okay, and targeted frequency is just bad for us for what we're trying to do. So we're going to stick with just video views. We're going to go to continue. We're going to skip over a bunch of stuff to make it faster. But one of the things we want, if you're using shorts, sure. We actually turned this off, but I don't know if that's most effective. Full disclosure, we're still newer on that. We're gonna we'll say $100 total. We're gonna run it for 2 weeks. Again, I'm just skipping over some stuff. Turn off partners on the display network. Just turn it off, guys. And there will be a replay if you got to slow it down, but that is just going to waste your money. All right, now whatever countries you want to work in, throw the countries in. Now, is there anything here that we really need to talk about? You can cap frequency if you're getting too bad frequency, but we haven't seen a problem with it.
What is
And
the
for devices, we want to turn off tablets and TVs.
frequency does?
I'm sorry?
What's the cap frequency does? Like how many people, how many times the same person sees it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We normally cap it if we start seeing it get bad. But for the most part, we haven't had too many problems with it. We only want computers and phones. Tablets and TVs, it's hard for people to take actions. And if you're trying to grow your brand, sure, do the TVs and tablets. But for what we're trying to do, we're trying to get them to take action. So mobile phones and computers work fine. Frequency cap, if you're worried, you can play around with timing. We don't care too much about that, but you keep going down and you go down to placement. This is our bread and butter. So for placement, we can put in channels, videos, and lineups. So let's go back here and we'll just pick, I don't know, we'll pick these 3 for now, just to show you guys kind of how to do it. So we're going to pick these 3 videos and we're just going to.
What do you fix, Ruth? Move block.
Need to turn my ad blocker back on. We're going to take the video URL and we're just going to throw it in there. And it's going to say, hey, we found 1 video. Cool. Now we're targeting that video specifically. Right. And we'll just do 1 more just so, I don't know, redundancy.
Marketing leads shouldn't lead to it.
Oh, these ads are killing me. We're going to throw a second video in and it'll do another video. So now we're targeting that as well. Now, let's say you wanted to do a channel. Let's say roofing insights. That sounds like a good channel for people looking for roofing leads, right? So you could target a whole channel just by grabbing the channel name. And we'll throw it in here. It's going to say we don't have anything. Yeah. You go to channels and now you're targeting the whole channel. So guys, it's relatively simple. The bid, let's just.
I got a question. How is this compared to the
I know my weakness.
campaign you can also do with YouTube?
Will you say again? Because that ad got me.
Sure. You can also do a Performance Max campaign on YouTube, right? So how would you compare? Because with the Performance Max, I don't think you give it this info, right? It's more of like, go figure it out, AI. And so how would you compare this versus the Performance Max when it comes for YouTube?
Well, the Performance Max works decently well now. A year ago, I would have told you you're dumb for running Performance Max, but Performance Max is running a lot better. It will just run a lot more places. We have seen pretty bad lead quality from Performance Max historically until recently. Like last 6 months, Performance Max has been doing a lot better. Full credit to Google for that. But this is just much more targeted. So we can get super granular with this while still paying cheap prices. So for me, I personally don't mind doing the extra work or paying a VA to build a list for me.
So I don't know what everybody's doing, but I'm texting my guy that's in charge of my ads right now, and I'm asking if this way and moving from the Performance Max, because like I have the stuff that I do on my own, right? But I also have somebody that do that. I'm just shooting him a message right now. I mean, like that's kind of like makes me angry, actually. He was just telling me something. We were just talking about YouTube's, and he did the performance, and it was like some weird stuff with that. And I think it's not targeting properly. So yeah, I'm gonna ask him about that right now.
It just works. There are other forms of targeting. You can do topics, keywords. Keywords has fallen off recently, sadly. It hasn't been working as well for a lot of our clients. So we moved more towards placement and topics. Keywords was my favorite by far. But just to finish up the ad, guys, you want to put your final URL is going to be the YouTube video. That's your sales video. That you're walking them through the process, showing it, and telling them to click down below in the description to go to your actual lander and give you information. Obviously, headline, description like a regular ad. And for your bid, start at $1, guys. Don't start the 0.15 cents, the 0.10 cents, because most of the time when you do that, you just won't run. I've tried to play it. You can always pull it back later on. You're not going to pay $1 cost per view. But like the estimate it's giving us here is 2 cents to 9 cents per view. Take that with a grain of salt, obviously, and it's saying you'll get all these unique views. Remember, we're targeting one channel that's all about roofing leads and a couple roofing videos on how to get leads. This is probably pretty efficient if you do, for example, Google Ads or SEO for roofers or GBP only for roofers, which I've seen become more popular. But that's it, guys. There's nothing fancy. Just on the video you're sending them to, make sure you put it in the description where they can go. Made that mistake a long time ago. And just make sure you have them an end destination. If you're trying to grow a YouTube channel, this probably isn't the best way to do it. But if you're trying to sell something or you're trying to get people to know who you are, you're going to the perfect audience. You're going to the audience that's already looking for this. Like Roofing Insights, I haven't looked at it. We did this all live on this, right, guys? So Roofing Insights, I don't know if it's a good channel to target. Seems like it is. 2023 marketing guide for roofers. Seems like the perfect channel for it. But at the end of the day, guys, again, $1 bids, we're going to get a ton of impressions. We're going to spend our budget, which is tiny, and we have a really good reach. And it's saying we're going to get between 510 and 3.8 thousand views. Worth it. Just test, play around with it, guys, and kind of go from there.
For $100, it does worth it.
I mean, that's a steak dinner nowadays. So if you're willing to sacrifice one steak dinner,
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
they also, it's not a Wild West anymore as it was with Google, right? 5 years backwards, you could have done everything you wanted to do just on organic. Today, because Google and all the other people, like all the other companies, they make it mandatory to run ads. I mean, it's a part of it's a part of the pie that if you don't do, you're just not getting the cut. And it wasn't there like 5 years ago. I mean, it just wasn't. And it's not, at least not at the scale that it is right now.
Yeah, nowhere near. 5 years ago, Google Ads was in an amazing place. Hence why we were able to spend so much money with clients because you just keep going up and up and up. Nowadays, we have HVAC companies that are spending, $120, $150 a lead, which again, 5 years ago, I have videos where I'm getting them $20 leads, $25 leads that are converting well. I literally went to my loom. I was making fun of myself, but
I mean, yeah, like companies will pay $300-$400 for a lead today. I mean, it's something that 5 years ago, yeah, it was 20, 30, 40, maybe 50. But it's just the way the game is, right? So as an agent, we just have to play in this game. It is what it is.
it's the same thing with Facebook reach. Organic reach used to be great for pages, used to be great for groups. And then Facebook's like, hey, not anymore. You got to pay us. And what's really funny is the second you start boosting the basic content that you were just going to share, your organic reach grows exponentially. And it's funny how that works.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about this. It's exactly as Yelp, right? Let's try to get a review posted on Yelp. You can pay as much as you would like. You can bribe any person on Yelp. It's not going to help you. But start running ads and you'll see how, now 20, 30, 50% of the reviews are now sticking. Not all of them, but now they are starting to stick. So usually, especially in new accounts, usually we'll run it for a couple of months and then we'll run like $10 a day just for a little bit to kind of help them because otherwise it just doesn't stick. Yeah, they all want us to pay, like it's gonna play, it is what it is. All right. What else you got for us, Sean?
That is all that I had planned for the 30-minute section, but are there any questions over the content? I know we went very fast, guys, and I'm sorry about that. We're trying to fit everything in to get everyone to use it, but at the end of the day, guys, if you just spice up your content a little bit and actually push it out there, again, you don't have to boost if that's a scary word in this industry now. You can actually do ads for it, traffic ads or engagement ads. But at the end of the day, if you're growing the company's name, that's how you get to 6,000 calls in 5 months. It's not like ranking #1 for just AC repair or tree removal. That's great. That'll get you a ton of leads. But if everyone knows you, they've already seen you on YouTube 1,000 times, they've seen you on Facebook 1,000 times, who are they going to work with? And a quick example that really solidifies that is if you're a remodeling company, right? Because everyone says they're the #1 remodeler. Everyone says they're the best in business. But if you've been on Facebook for the last 8 months, posting, 2 to 4 pictures every month, boosting it so everyone sees it, you've been giving advice, you've been doing all this stuff. At the end of the day, are they going to pick the guy who says they're #1 or the guy that they've seen like 30, 40, 50 projects that all look amazing. At the end of the day, it's no contest, guys.
Yeah. I love it when I speak with contractor, usually it's contractor or like prospect, and like, well, what's unique about you guys? And they're like, we're the best. Why? Well,
Everyone's number
you
one.
did that. So I spoke with somebody yesterday. That's actually, it was pretty nice actually. I closed him on $5,000 a month, 550. Which we're not trying to take clients, but I mean he was willing to shell some decent money to work with us. So and we were talking, and one of the things I was like trying to figure out, like I was like, why are you good? Like you're saying that you're different, you're saying that you're that, you're saying so and so. And I was really working hard to try to milk it from him, like what makes him unique. And it's kind of crazy how most people just, say something like our customer service is the best or our service, or, they don't really find, those things to highlight what they are good at or what their business is. But the people that are actively posting on social media, usually you can see why they are good because they document what they do. So as a prospect, if I want to work with this contractor and I see that he's posting for so and so, well, I can say, okay, he's good because he did this roof really nice, or they did this in this time frame, or so and so and so and so. There's validation, right? Versus just like there's no validation. So interesting.
I realized I was commenting. I was like, yeah, I was agreeing with you while I was on mute. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah. All right, we got
It looks like
a couple of questions here, I guess. April asks, is there a specific industry or niche that you have seen YouTube ads work best with home improvement, like such as home improvement, I guess?
honestly, the fact that it's working for orthodontists, dentists, roofing companies, and now working for us for lawn care, even though I'm not interested at all in lawn care, it's literally just for an experiment. The fact that it's working in all four of those industries, I don't necessarily think there's one in particular it's not going to work for. All you're basically doing is you're getting in front of the right people. You're getting in front of the right people, and that's really it.
That makes sense. I mean, it's all about exposure, essentially, right? The more exposure you get, the more phone calls you'll get. That's kind of like what it's all about. Let's see what else we got. Yelp just penalized account that is not active on their site. So inactive profile reviews become another. Yeah. Freaking Yelp, man. Freaking Yelp. It's really cool. It's really interesting. They're a publicly traded company. Anyway, let's see what Michael says here. Okay, so target related audience that is already there. Run a short video ad that goes to closing sales video. So it is one video to close. What? Michael, what are you trying to ask there? I guess the question is like you were using one or two videos?
Yeah, I get it. Yes, it's a short video just to get them to raise their hand. And then it's a longer video where you explain the whole process. We give away the farm. That's what we do. I know not everyone does that sales style, but that's what we do. Is we'll show them exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and why we're going to do it, because they're too lazy to do it themselves. And then from there, they go to a very short sales page. And I do mean very short because they've already watched 2 videos of me where it's either me video, which is what it currently is, me saying, what are you waiting for? You want the website, go down below, give me your information, let's talk. That's the whole video. Like there's no more sales because they've already watched a short video, raised their hand, watched a sales video where I show them the kind of websites they can have. And then they got to the landing page where all they have to do is give me their information. So I added a short video of me basically making a mockery of myself, just saying like, hey, you want the website, we want to build it for you, and we hope one day you're going to use our marketing service. So get down below, give me your information, let's get started. And it's my personality. You don't have to be that way, guys.
But I do want to address what David here says. So he says, who do you use to make videos? And then this hides the next word here. I guess my clients are not photogenic. So here is kind of the thing, right? So there's two things to that. What Sean is kind of teaching us today, this is more for us as an agency to create videos and to create content that is basic for us to get agency clients. But if we want to use the same strategy for our own clients, which they all suck at giving us quality content that we can work with. So we have to figure out a different route. The different route that I've been using, and I've seen a bunch of others that have been using this recently, is the AI models that you can get from like Captions, the software. It's like an app on the iPhone. Within the Caption app, you go, you pick the model, the AI avatar model you want, and it's free, by the way. You have different tiers that they have. I still have the free version. You give it a prompt, whatever it is, very basic, and it creates like the whole script, the whole thing with the model, with the whole thing. And then you can use those things for your clients. So for example, you can pick up an AI model to create a very short spiel about getting a roof repair estimate or roof replacement, yada, 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 and then you can use that for your clients. Things of that sort usually tends a whole lot better than trying to convince the client to send us stuff. They will send photos, but when we ask for videos, it's kind of like we ask them to chop their right hand. I mean, I don't even know why it's so hard for them to pull up a phone and say something nice to the camera. You know what? I'll share another thing with you guys. Like on my own business, I have my own freaking partner. I was like, hey, like do this, do this, do this. He's like, yeah, that tomorrow. I mean, it was on and on and on for months. And then long story short, I was there physically. I was like, hey, Chris, go to the freaking truck. Like, here's the mic. Here's my iPhone. Let's do those things. It took less than 10 minutes. We did 5 really nice videos. But our customers have really hard time to do this on their own. So I would just figure it out and probably use like AI models at this point. Like, yeah, it's kind of hard.
I can give 2 quick examples, and I see a question I definitely want to answer. One of the examples that we use is we just landed a great client who has videos, rare as can be. That never happens. They have a full-time videographer. It's okay, that's going to be so easy, so much fun. But we had a roofing guy who was paying like $9,000 for SEO. He was getting cheated, so I felt bad for the guy, but he was the biggest roofer in the entire state. He had subcontractors all around the state. So when we started asking him for video, he goes, well, I can get you video. What do you need? I'm like, well, do you have a professional? He goes, I know a couple of drone operators. So he paid them for one time to go out to a bunch of sites they were working and go through and got us a bunch of videos of just guys working on roofs. They were his subcontractors. He ended up getting us enough content from that day to run for almost a year.
Nice.
It's just, we had to send it to an editor because I'm not good at that. But we sent it to an editor who put together, I think it was like 45 or 50 different short videos about just showing off their guys, showing off their brand, showing them at work. So it was really easy to use that, but he thought outside the box and he went to a drone operator because obviously roofing. But
anybody wants a good video editor? If I don't get yes, I'm not sharing. All right, Felix, fine. This guy. So I have a couple of editors, obviously. But sometimes for the last several weeks, I've outsourced some of the work for this guy. Usually it was kind of an incident. I don't usually pick from this region in the world. But somehow I stumbled on his profile on Upwork. I gave him a little task and he did it well. I gave him another one, he did it well. So far, this guy did about 15, maybe 17 projects for me. I just shared in the chat his profile, so you guys can use him. Really cool guy, and yeah, if you guys want, he can help.
I see a question here from Pat. What's the basic script for the main video and how do you do it with little or no case studies? How long does it have to be? The first video, again, keep it short, under a minute. There's no real script for it. We're testing a bunch of stuff now because we want to push this to the moon while it's still green, right? But the plain and simple fact is, all you're trying to do is get them to raise their hand. So if they're watching videos on AdWords, for instance, be like, hey, look, AdWords sucks. Everyone knows it, right? And it's getting more competitive than ever. If you want to track an ROI and you want to actually see a return, come see how we do it. And then just show them you doing it. Like don't try to make it super over salesy or like, hey, you have to buy this. Or do you want 10, what's a good example I saw? Do you want 5 to 10 additional installs every single month? Like they know that's a sale waiting to come.
Yeah.
But if you do it kind of like we're doing it, which yes, we're being a little more salesy on the website side, sure. But what we're doing like on the AdWords side, it's just saying like, hey, do you want to actually see an ROI and be able to track it? And we're showing off a software called What Converts, where we're actually showing kind of like the example, which I don't share with anyone, by the way. So you guys are lucky. The example of like 1.32 million in the past 11 months. We did that with the software. And the software tracks everything, gets it all through. It's kind of like Hyros, but it's a little more involved with the client. So all we're doing is trying to educate, educate, educate. And when we take that route, I have never had to produce case studies. I have literally an entire folder called results. It has like, at this point, like 300 something different case studies in it. There's about, I don't know, 12 to 15 ones that we show sometimes. But at the end of the day, nobody cares about that stuff. They just want to know that you can get them results. And if they can trust you based on your words, like my first sale was $2,000 a month to a client, was $2,000 I was, yeah, I had no idea what to do. This was brand new. The internet was still in its younger phases. And I just showed him like, hey, look, here's your competitors. Here's you. We got to bridge that gap. Hey, here's your competitor. Here's you. We got to bridge that gap. Hey, your ads suck. Let me fix your ads. Like, and it was all basic stuff where, again, well, my first actual client, I was 18 years old. And he goes, yeah, so you think you can get us closer to them here, here, and here? I go, yep, I can do that. He goes, okay, cool. Literally at the time, yes, gave me a check, but I know they don't do that anymore. But he gave me a check to get started. And guys, if you are super confident, most of the time you don't really need case studies. If you need case studies, go to a white label partner. All right. And if you're willing to use them, go to a white label partner. There are tons of white label partners who are more than willing to give you a case study to share as long as you're using them. Don't cheat them. But just go to a white label partner. There's tons of them. Be like, hey, I need some case studies for my clients. And they will give you and say, hey, yeah, they can tell them they can get results just like this. And they will give you case studies to use if you're really afraid of that.
Sure. And also, I want to add to this, don't overthink about case studies. Usually, if a prospect is asking you for a case study, it's because that prospect doesn't have enough assurance in whatever pitch you had or your company or so. So what that person is trying to do, there's two things they're trying to accomplish. One, they're looking for an assurance. So they're coming to you and say, hey, do you have something that can help me to choose you? Right? That's the one thing. And the second thing is that when they are looking for that, that's a way for them to say no, right? They're trying to give you objections that they think you won't be able to overcome. So if they see that you don't have stuff like that, or you're not organized and things of that sort, then they'll be like, oh yeah, send me a couple of case studies. Or did it happen to everybody? Then somebody you talk to says, hey, send me case studies. No, never happened to anybody. All right, did happen to somebody. Yes. Well, if it doesn't happen often, that's great. But if they have that lingo of send me something, meaning they don't even want it right now, they're kind of trying to like get off of it, of that meeting or whatever it is, and this is kind of like how they use this objective. So, just FYI, that's kind of with case studies. So
At the end of the day, as long as you're confident, I don't have that issue. And a lot of the people I work with who are partners don't have that issue. I have a guy, I think he's on this call actually. He's newer. He just closed like a $5,100 a month sale. And all he did was he was confident and he showed off things that people aren't willing to show. And he was willing to say, like, hey, you aren't tracking your ROI. Granted, did help him a little bit with the sale, but not much. Where it's like, hey, you're spending $15,000 a month on AdWords and you're not tracking your ROI. That's a no-go. Let's track your ROI. Here's how we can track it. They didn't question, they didn't ask for referrals. They had what, 3 or 4 other proposals. They completely dropped them. Next day, called them back to sign up. They're like, whoa, nobody else offered us this. We're going to go with you guys.
I'm just checking my own website. I only have 2 case studies for the past 4 years. So I guess we don't really need that. All right, guys, it's been almost an hour, I guess about an hour since we started. So I kind of want to wrap it at that. I was aiming for 30, 45 minutes. I usually like to cut those short. I really appreciated every person that, spent some time and got to this webinar. The whole goal is to give you some value. So you can go out there and you can, you know, grow your agency and grow your business. So super, super thankful for you being a part of it. We can't do it without you. And of course, if you enjoyed it,